Hello everyone, and welcome back to the David Show. I'm David, your host, and I'm so excited to have you all here for another great episode. Today, I have a very special guest joining me. She's from Singapore, currently working as a sales professional in the fashion industry. Everyone, please welcome Luna to the show. Luna, how are you doing today?
Hi, David. I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me. It's such an honor to be on your podcast.
Pleasure's all mine. So, how's work been lately? The fashion industry must be, quite exciting and fast-paced, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. Every day feels different. We're always preparing for new collections, meeting clients, and, of course, hitting those sales targets. It can be a bit stressful sometimes, but I love the creativity that comes with the job.
That's great to hear. And how about the people you work with? Is it competitive or more collaborative?
It's a mix, I'd say. Sales can naturally feel competitive because everyone has targets, But I'm lucky to have a supportive team. We share ideas and help each other improve, especially when someone is struggling to close a deal.
Sounds like a great balance. Well, today, we're diving into a topic that I think a lot of people can relate to: job interviews. They can be super intimidating, but they're such an important part of our careers. Luna, I imagine in your role, you've probably had some experience with job interviews, both giving and receiving?
Oh, absolutely. I've been on both sides of the table. I've had my share of nerve-wracking interviews when I was job hunting, and now I sometimes help interview new candidates for our sales team.
That's awesome. So, let's start with your personal experience as a job seeker. Do you remember your very first job interview?
How could I forget? It was for a part-time retail job when I was in university. I was so nervous. I spent hours practicing answers to typical questions like, why do you want this job? And what are your strengths and weaknesses? But during the actual interview, they asked me about handling difficult customers, and I completely blanked. I was like, good question. It was awkward, but I managed to recover.
That sounds familiar. I think we've all had those moments. What did you learn from that experience?
Two things, actually. First, preparation is important, but you also need to stay calm and think on your feet. Second, it's okay to admit when you don't know something. I said something like, I don't have much experience with that yet, but I'd be eager to learn. And they appreciated my honesty.
That's great advice. Now that you're involved in hiring, what do you notice about candidates who perform well in interviews?
Confidence is key, but not overconfidence. The best candidates are those who show they've done their homework. Like, if someone can explain how their skills fit the role and they know a bit about our brand or recent campaigns, that's really impressive. It shows they care about the job, not just the paycheck.
Totally agree. Research can make a huge difference. Speaking of which, when I was younger, I once went to an interview for a teaching job, and I didn't even know the school's core values. The interviewer asked, and I had nothing to say. That was, awkward.
Oh no. But I think we've all made those mistakes. It's a learning process, right?
For sure. So, for someone preparing for an interview, what practical tips would you give them?
Let's see. First, know the job description inside out. Match your skills and experience to what they're looking for. Second, practice common interview questions. But don't memorize answers word for word. It should feel natural. And third, dress appropriately. Even if the company seems casual, it's better to be slightly overdressed than too relaxed.
Great points. What about during the interview itself? Any tips for staying calm and making a good impression?
Definitely. Take a deep breath before answering questions, and don't rush. It's better to pause for a second than to ramble. Also ask questions at the end. It shows you're genuinely interested in the role. I always appreciate when candidates ask about our team culture or growth opportunities.
Good stuff. So, what's a common mistake you see candidates make?
One big one is when people focus too much on themselves and not enough on what they can bring to the company. Like, I've had candidates who talked a lot about what they want. Higher pay, flexible hours, but didn't explain why they'd be a good fit for our team.
That's a great insight. Now, just for fun, if you had to give one unusual tip for acing an interview, what would it be?
Unusual? I'd say smile more. It sounds simple, but it really helps. A smile makes you seem approachable and positive, and it can even help calm your nerves.
Love that. Well, Luna, this has been such a fantastic conversation. I'm sure our listeners have learned a lot today. Before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom for anyone preparing for their next interview?
Just be yourself. Interviews are a two-way street. You're not just trying to impress them, you're also figuring out if the job is right for you. So stay confident and remember, it's okay if you don't get every job. Each interview is a chance to learn and grow.
Perfect advice. Thank you so much for joining me today, Luna. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, David. I had a great time chatting with you.
And thank you to everyone listening to The David Show. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everyone.